Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to an unboxing for the Game of Life, the Target Edition. So I always like these little gimmicky type games. I wouldn't probably normally have maybe bought the Game of Life other than just normally have a copy. But I didn't own one, and I love like odd versions of classic games. So like I wouldn't mind picking up some like I haven't played it, but I definitely have to do an unboxing yet for Animal Crossing, Monopoly, stuff like the Mario one, stuff like that, or Clue with different versions are kind of interesting. So this is the Game of Life. So if you're not familiar with the original, and I'm going off of half memory from playing this as a kid, which is a long time ago, and half watching people play a digital version on like streaming and stuff. So it might not even be accurate to how the board game plays exactly. But essentially what you're doing is you're trying, in the Game of Life, is you start off with nothing, and then you play through, and you get to the point you're trying to amass essentially the most amount of money. And by doing so, you get to pick different paths of life. You get to go different careers you want to take. Do you want to own a house? Do you not want to own a house? Do you want to go to school and like get a better job that way by having a career? Do you not want to do that and have a different type thing? Do you want to start a family? Each thing brings a different set of paths and different stuff like that. So you're just trying to you're playing through till you get to the end of the board. And as you land on different spaces, you get different options, different opportunities of things to do. So the Game of Life for Target is a little bit different. So yeah, instead of having like an option between going to college or getting a job, picking a career and earning money that way, what you are trying to do is you have a target run. You have a shopping list of things you're trying to get. And you're going to play through on the board, moving around the board, and instead of having just a general like one-way path from the start of the board to the end of the board, this is one where you actually go around the entire board over and over. So this is like essentially like you're running through a giant version of Target, and you're trying to collect all the different pieces to complete your shopping list. You have, I think there's 8 categories you have to pick from, and you're trying to get staying within your budget. So it's kind of interesting. So let's just crack it open and take a look what's in here. Alright, so we have, over here I haven't like put together any of the stuff, so we have the cards, the spinner pieces and stuff, so let's look at that. But we have this here first. So what's different about the Game of Life Target Edition? Go on a target run. At the start of the game, everyone picks their target run. This is a list of items you need to get from one department each. Choose your path. The path which the game board splits and loops allows you to explore the aisles however you choose in any direction. So yeah, instead of everyone following the same exact pathway, with occasional splits that maybe like merge back together and then split off again, this is you can go in multiple directions. You might overlap or cross back and forth over each other. Collect items. Collect items from each department, plus some impulse buy tokens along the way. Prices vary, so try to score the cheapest. Once you have an item token from each department, head to the checkout. And then race to the checkout. You get a bonus for reaching the checkout before other players. The game ends when everyone reaches the checkout. The player with the most money wins. So rather than trying to amass the most amount of money by like making different good choices and buying different properties or things like that, you're instead just trying to spend the least amount of money. So it's very interesting. We'll kind of look at the rules here in just a sec. Let's look at what our pieces are. So of course we have our classic spinner. See how hard this pops out. Didn't pop out too bad. This is a typical spinner from, I believe, every Life game. Or most Life games. At least it's the one I remember. Just be careful when you're popping all this stuff out. And then we have our little cardboard. Pop out the center there. So I can figure out how to put this together without actually reading any of the directions, right? So there's that. Here is our... Okay, so I'll pop in there. Alright, so then this just should pop on there. That should give us our spinner with our different numbers. Does that just sit on there? I guess it does, so it must be able to come off very easy. I would have assumed it would have snapped in there. And then we can stick our spinner in there. And then now we got our spinner. It's not working very well because I am not having it sit down. I would have thought it would have snapped in there somehow. That's kind of weird. But it does snap into the board, so we'll kind of look at that. Alright. Then we have the big board. We'll look at that quick. I'm not going to go over every single detailed spot on here. But then the spinner will kind of snap in here. It has little holes here. So then they should just kind of fit into the holes on the board, and then it slides back. And this is so you can take it on and off very easy. Now it spins fairly well. Again, I thought it would have snapped in there, but I'm sure it's so that you can take it apart very quickly. Yeah, so then I have all these different spaces on the board. You're going to go around. I'm going to swing back my camera up a little bit more. Yeah, so here we have the checkout down here at the bottom. So you have to get to there to where bullseye is to check out. Otherwise, you're going to go around the board, and as you move, so whatever you spin, so if I spin and I spin a 4, I will move 4 in whatever direction these arrows are pointing. If you're in the bullseye's playground, which is what they call the center, then once you're out and you get to any of these other spots, you can go either direction. You just can't change during your turn. So if you're going one direction, you have to keep going that way. And then as long as you land on a spot, you do whatever it says. If you land on a circle like this, which has one of the departments, which there is an orange, a purple, a blue, pink, light blue, dark blue. There's a light green, a dark green, a purple, and a yellow. So one of the 8 spots. When you land on or you pass one of them spots, you stop. And then you get to pick one of the token sports. So we'll look at those in just a minute. But there's a bunch of other spots on there, like spin again. There's some cards you get to draw. There's some boost tokens. There's a spinning wheel, which lets you basically compete for some extra money, some points in there. There's some impulse buys, exclusive cards. There's a bunch of other different game spots on the board, which we'll kind of look at when we get there. Alright, and then we have this, which I believe is our... We'll just rip that open, I don't care. We have our movers. There we go, so we get a bunch of little target cards are our movers. So you have a green, an orange, a blue, and a pink. So this is one thing that's a little bit different, because also you don't collect, obviously you don't collect, like, if you're from like the original Game of Life, you have a little car you usually drive around, and then you, at some point, you have the option of getting married or getting kids, and then you put little tokens in there. So instead, you don't have them, they're just focused on the moving around collecting stuff. And there's only 4 things, so it's only a 4-player game. I don't know why, I don't know if that's just where the optimized number is. But yeah, then your cart can kind of move around the board. Now, it doesn't have any rolly wheels or anything. Alright, so then we have tokens. We have a bunch of these gray tokens. Which, let's look at the book and we'll see what all of those are. I believe there's a spot that does kind of tell me what those are. Yeah, so we have tokens here. So we're going to have tokens for each department. So we have item tokens. Each department has its own set of item tokens. You need to collect items from the department to fulfill your target run and head to the checkout. Although your target run notes specify items in each department, like swimsuit or clothing and accessories, the item tokens themselves aren't specific, and any item will fulfill your list. So they do have... Alright, so let's take a look at those lists really quick. Then we get an idea of what we're talking about. So we have this. We have fun family movie night. So if someone picks this, you start with a budget of $250, and you're supposed to get movie trivia game, a knitted blanket, superhero flick, TV soundbar, a sweatshirt, a dog bag, popcorn and candy, and a hydrating face mask. But what you do is you just need one token for each of those 8 departments. It doesn't matter specifically what they are. We have a summer block party, a big beach bash, a game day get together, and if we flip this over, we have the vacation mode, Target Fun Run, Pet's first birthday, and weekend hike. And these are one sheet each, so they're not double-sided. So you have 8 different ones to choose from. So even if you play a 4-player game, you can each play each time, but essentially it's the exact same thing for everybody. Start 250, collect 8 tokens. What you're specifically trying to catch doesn't matter. So it's kind of neat. In one hand, because it gives you a little aesthetic to the game, but it's, on the other hand, since it doesn't matter, they could have just had, hey, here's your shopping list, collect these. It would have been kind of neat if you would have had some way of differentiating what you got. So prices vary on your tokens. You may have one item token for each department on your list. However, some cards may have you draw item tokens and place them in your impulse pile. These don't count towards your target run, they're extra. Then we also have impulse buy tokens. So these are going to be the little baskets. And they have pictures on the board that match those. Impulse buy tokens represent those fun items you didn't know you needed until now. When you get an impulse buy token, place it in a pile to the side of your target run list. You may have a max of 4 tokens in your impulse pile. If you already have 4 and are prompted to draw another, do nothing. These don't count towards fulfilling your run, they're just extras. Says don't deduct the cost of any item token or impulse buy tokens from your budget tracker until the end of the game. You buy everything all at once. So this basically means if you pick up a token that has, like $10, you don't subtract $10 from your total yet. You wait till the end and do everything at the same time. We also have energy boost tokens, which are these little either food or coffees. Use energy boost tokens to add 2 moves to your spin. You cannot use an energy boost token the same turn you received it. They only apply when spinning moves and adding 2 moves to that spin. You cannot use them on top of a card that directs you to move. So there are cards we will draw. We'll look at those in a second. But you may use multiple energy boosts at once. So if you spin a 4, you can play 2 to add 4, but you have to move all 8 spaces. The exception is if you land on a department, because the department space stops you. And then we have target circles, which are these white ones that say $5 off. Use target circles to say $5 off your purchase of an item. Target circle tokens may be paired with any item token you have placed on your list. They may not be applied with impulse buys or item tokens in the impulse pile. You must apply a target circle as soon as you receive it. If you don't have any item tokens in your list yet, hold on and apply it as soon as you do. Once applied, that remains paired with the item. Alright, so let's take a little bit closer look at these tokens then. So we're going to have all our different ones from our different departments. We have all these different impulse buys. We're going to have all our boosts. We have trackers here. This is for each player. And this is just to put next to your total here to track where you're at. So like if I was orange, I would just put it like that and I would track up and down. And if we flip this over, we also have our $5 off ones. We have some red cards, which I didn't go over yet. We'll look at those in just a sec. But it looks like we have 6 tokens for each department. So if you're playing a 4-player game, there'll only be 2 left over for each. And then if we look at the back side, all of our tokens have extra things. Our boost tokens are, say, plus 2 spaces on the back side. Impulse buys will all cost $20 across the board regardless. And then the department tokens will all have various prices. Now, what is kind of neat is that doesn't look like they're the same for every single one. So it's, these 6 are one department. So you have a 50, 45, 40, 45, 45, 30. So that looks like that's blue, which is electronics, which makes sense they're a little bit more expensive. But then if we get down to these 6 down here, 15s, 20, 10, 5s, 15s, that was our dog food. So our dog stuff's a little bit cheaper. So every token's not always the same, so it's not like you have the same 6 per everything. But you can definitely see the difference in prices you're going to get on some of these. Here on the back of the red card, it says add $5 to your budget whenever you land on a red card or red card exclusive space. So this helps you make your budget a little bit more special. It's basically saying you got a gift card or you got a little bit extra credit on your credit card to spend. So that's kind of fun there. And then when you get these, and you put your tokens on top, and it puts $5 off that item, but it stays with that item. So that's basically the gist of all that. That's all our components. Let's hop back in and look at some of the rules here. We have board spaces. So we have price check. Price check lets you look through the item tokens in any department and stack them in any order. You don't get a taken item token, but you can set yourself up to score a good one. Impulse buys. If you land on a space, draw one impulse buy token. Energy boost. Pick up a token. So basically you land on these spaces, you do what they say. Spin to win. Choose another player, then pick red or white and spin. The spinner lands on your color. You add $10 to your budget. If not, your opponent adds 10. So those are little spaces, like that one right there. The red card. So if you scored a red card, take a red card, keep it by you. It'll let you add $5 to your budget when you land on a red card exclusive space. If you land on a red card space but already have a red card, add $5 to your budget immediately. There are only 2 red card spaces are in the bullseye playground. So that is in the center odd area, and that's these big giant ones here. So you have to land on one of those to get a red card, and then every time you land on one of the red card exclusive areas, you add $5 to your budget. So you have to first go into that center area, land on one of these, which there's 4 of them, 1 per each player. Then as you land on them other spaces, you can get it. So basically, if you want to hang on that area and try and get one, you can get one, but you're not going to get any. You're not going to get any of the department stuff by hanging out in the Bullseye's playground area. So red card exclusive. If you have a red card land here, add $5. No red card, nothing happens. Team member. A team member target is at your service. Draw the top card of the team member deck, read it aloud, and do what it says. Once played, return to the bottom of the deck. The deals. Draw 1 card from the deals deck and read it aloud. And then the phone. Buzz. It looks like you've got a notification. Drop the top card of the phone deck, read it aloud, and play it. And then wild. Draw 1 top card of the deck of your choice. So there's 3 different decks that can get you extra things, and we'll look at those too. Yeah, so there's our breakdown. You just set the game up like that. Kind of explain some of that. So how do you actually play? It's fairly simple. On your turn, spin and move that many spaces. You choose which direction to go. Can't change direction with the same move. So if you have to, you spin a 4, you have to go 4 directions in that space. But then the next turn, you can be like, oh, I want to go back, so you can opt to go the other direction. Yep, so then it says, be entered Bullseye's playground, may only move clockwise, so it has the little arrows. If you reach a department space, you must stop there immediately, even if you have moves left. Where did you land? Check the board spaces, end your turn. So on the department spaces, is when you reach a department, you must stop on it. If your spin would take you past it, you must stop. Still stop, and you don't get to continue afterwards. The spaces where you get items and fulfill your lists. Now, this is what's a little bit interesting. If you stop on exact count, look through all the items, all of its item tokens, and take the least expensive one. Put that item back in the department spot in your list. You can restack the remaining tokens in any order. If you stop by not exact count, you just take the top item. So it's kind of a little bit of a gambling thing there, because you gotta debate, like if you spin, I get a 4. Do I want to go 4 and go past, so 3 spaces away to department, I land on that, and just get a token and I have it? Or do I want to run the risk of going back the other direction and trying to keep landing exactly on it so I can choose exactly what I want? Plus, when other players manipulated it via the price scanning, or they've just landed on that one and they've messed them up, you have to worry that maybe they put a high-priced item right on top. So that's kind of an interesting little aspect of the game. It says if you already have an item token from that department, you may look at the top 3 tokens and choose to swap out one item with one you already have. Put the old one at the bottom of the stack. If none are cheaper, simply keep the item you already have. So basically you could step on pets. Oh crap, I got the $20 one. I know there's a $5 and $10 one. You could keep going back and trying to land on it again to swap it out for a different one. But just realizing the more time you spend doing that is less time you're getting the other tokens. Alright, so then end of the game is the checkout. Once you have all 8 item tokens you need to fill your target run, head to the checkout. You don't need to be there by exact count though. Get a bonus depending on how you finish. First player adds 20 to their budget, second player adds 10, third adds 5, fourth adds none. Once you reach the checkout, hang out and wait for your fellow shoppers. You'll no longer take turns, but you can still be impacted by other players' cards and actions. That's the only rule I'm not sure I agree with. Because if again I recall in like at least the digital life in the original version, once you get to the end, you keep spinning for actions that potentially gain you more money, because that's the point of the game, to earn as much money as possible. But therefore, that way, if other players are taking way too long by taking long paths, or doing this or that or whatever, you at least have an opportunity to do something. Here, you just have to sit around and wait. If you happen to roll a ton of high numbers, got to areas first, you could sit there, but your opponents could keep, especially with this one because it's not a linear path, where regular life, they would eventually have to get to the end. You know, even if they're spinning 1s and 2s every turn, they would eventually get to the end. Here, someone could potentially just keep going around the board, taking their time, you know, purposely going back and forth, ignoring the apartment, trying to land on specific things or doing stuff, and you're just sitting there waiting. So, I mean, I know, that might, I mean, hopefully everyone's playing and they're just going to keep trying to get to the end, and no one is purposely doing that. But it's also the fact is they could even just choose to, you know, like, oh, I only have to get to the other side of the board and get the pets. They could sit there and take their time going the longest way around, hopefully landing on a bunch of things that might mess up your stuff that you can't do anything with. So, I don't know what the correct solution to that is, but, I think the fact is you just sit there and you have to wait and you can't do anything and you don't gain anything, it's kind of a bad idea. Like, they should have some way either to, like, limit the number of turns, or everyone has, you know, X number of turns to finish up after you, or you gain, you know, something every turn. I don't know. So once everyone has reached the checkout, it's time to make your purchases. Add the total of all items and impulse buy tokens you have. For each target circle you have, subtract 5. If you have any deals that apply, subtract those from your total. So this person had a budget of $260. That's something that moved it up from $250 to $260. Their sum total was $210. Target circle knocked down to $205. So $260 minus $205, they have $55 left. So that's basically how that's played. That's fairly simple. Alright, yes, I think this is a very interesting version of the game. We're going to look at these cards next. If I can get them open. The weirdest packaging I've ever seen. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to grab my handy dandy easel here. So we have a stack of cards that are the phone cards. This is like a text message, maybe like a deal from your phone. Maybe it's someone from your family calling you saying, hey, pick up this item as well. We have the deals around the store, and then we have the team members. So we're going to look at the phone cards first. And I haven't looked at any of these, so I don't know what any of them look like. Oh, okay, so here we go. Your roomie. Lost my phone charger, okay, if I borrow yours? Sure. So, lost your phone charger. Take the top item token from the electronics pile and add it to your impulse pile. So, now there's a thing that's going to now cost you extra money. Here we have Mom. Can you get some kibble? Ponds you learn to open cabinets. Take the top item of the pets. Best friend. Want to come over for dinner? Yeah. Do it yourself. Bring your favorite toppings. Get a grocery item. Book club. The new book just dropped. Let's read it this month. Entertainment. Hey, did you get Dad a B-Day gift yet? Home item. Fam group chat. Are you still at Target? We need toilet paper. Thumbs up emoji. Health and beauty. Cousin, the family union at the lake is a go. Woo, can't wait. Don't forget flip-flops, scratch, and clothing accessories. Game night crew. Can someone stop and grab a party game for tomorrow? On it. So they could have been clever with this, and someone could have said, hey, can someone grab Target Life Target version? You know, like, that would have been kind of a little bit neater. So there's a bunch of those, it looks like. They'll get you extra impulses. Then we have some different ones here. So we have, on this date, we have to do the park cleanup. Grab some snacks for the volunteers. If you have any item tokens, spin and move again. Vote for your favorite non-profit Target. Non-profits in the Target Circle app. If you have any item token, spin and move again. School supply drive. Donate art supplies to the 5th grade class. If you have any item tokens, spin and move again. Volunteer shelter. So pick up some supplies to donate. Then we have these. You have plus $10 for buying food at the concert. Add $10 to your budget. Okay, so this is kind of cool. So you get some budgets in here too. $10 for grabbing our morning drink. So people giving you money for stuff. You got $10 in your Target Circle earnings. So $10 budget tracker. Don't forget the $10 gift card in your digital wallet. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, some of these are forcing you to like add items. Some are giving you extra moves. Some are adding to your budget. We have some minus budget cards. $10 gas for road trip gas. $10 for Taco Tuesday. We spent money we were saving for Target. Watch where you're going. We have 2 of these. Well, they're different ones. Choose either take a card from another player or move 2 spaces and complete its action. Or eyes on the aisle, knock on your phone. Take a card from a player, move 2 spaces. That's fun. Spin to win. Choose another player, then pick red or white. Spin. If it lands on your color, add 5 to your budget. If not, immediately add 5 to your opponent. So it's cards like this, though, which I think, like, again, you ended the game. This could be kind of unfair. Like, I've exited the game. Someone else can now pick me for one of these options and maybe steal one of my cards. Or they could choose me and I could potentially, they could potentially add $5. I mean, I could add $5 too, you know, which is kind of nice. But, you know, it's also one of the things where it's like, you know, so that one's not too bad, I guess, because there's no downside to it, but they could steal your card if you had something that gave you an extra budget. I don't know what the rest of the cards all do. Then we have, don't forget reusable bags and trunk. Swap one of your items with another player's less expensive item from the same department. Or move to a spin again space in the bullseye's playground and spin again. Coworker, hey, did I just see you in the snack aisle? If you have any impulse buys, give one to another player. Bump into an old friend and exchange numbers. If you have any department items in your impulse pile, give one to another player. And silent mode. Use this card to block any negative action played against you. Keep this card until ready to use it to not be sold. Now, some of these are cool, but again, I feel like end of the game, if you've got all your stuff and you've checked out, I would say people aren't allowed to select you anymore. I would just say that. It's like, if I can't do anything to myself gain extra money, or do anything that way, then nobody else should be able to interact with me either. I basically checked out and I left the store. That's just my thought. You know, I mean, I maybe have to play to see how much it really impacts you. Alright, so then we have deals. So let's see what all our deals are. A little bullseye here getting to do stuff. The aisle is your one way. Gain 1 energy boost token and stop when you stop at a clothing accessory. Okay, so you kind of hang on to this until you land on that area, but it gives you a reason to go towards that area. We have play break for sporting goods and toys. A silly selfie for electronics. Inspired to cook up something new with grocery. Step 1 of your self-care routine, stroll through Target, health and beauty. Stop and smell all the candles. Oh, that's my wife. At home, if only you had some popcorn for entertainment. Spoiler for a friend for pets. And we have circle deals, surprise savings. Place a Target circle under any item on your list. No item tokens on your list yet. Save until you have one. Psst, there's a Target circle offer for that. So many deals. It's like this deal was made for you. Awesome. And we have happy birthday, celebrate with extra savings. You've earned a bonus offer. Then we have everyone wants your beauty secrets to score the best deals. Keep this until the end of the game. If you have any items in your impulse pile, take $5 off your total. Interesting. So yeah, you get this actually rewards you for having impulses. Even though they show a picture on there, it just says if you have any items in your impulse. It doesn't have to specifically be this. Tough to resist when it all looks delicious. Go on a treasure hunt through the clearance rack. You can't wait to post this epic haul on social. The best part of the new season, seasonal clearance. Board games are on sale this week. They have Monopoly on there. A treat for them, a treat for you. More savings, music to your ears. Everyone's after this deal. Choose one. Take a card from any player. Move 2 spaces and complete its action. There's only one left. Just take a card or move 2 actions. Whoops, their sale starts tomorrow. Remove 1 department item token from your impulse pile. Place it at the bottom of the relevant stack. Don't have one, keep this until you can use it. Well, that's kind of nice. You can get rid of an impulse item. Save this one for another day. So there's another one that does that. So that's kind of fun too. So some neat cards in that pile. And then our final pile are the team members. How are these guys going to help us? Have you seen this deal? Play this card when you reach any department. Secretly look through the item tokens and take the least expensive. Stack the remaining tokens in any order. Keep this card until you're ready to use. Okay, so it works kind of like the scanner, except you also get to pick your own. I know just the thing. There's the same effect, so I'm not going to reread the effects. We always have these in style. Awesome. Then we have this one. Get inside scoop on some new arrivals. Move 1 space immediately and complete its action. That's kind of neat. Although this would be kind of more fun if you picked this up and you could use it when you had it, as opposed to just moving 1 space. So a friendly smile puts some pep in your step. Not all superheroes wear capes. Some wear red shirts. I can put that back for you. Play this card to remove an impulse buy token. Place it face down back in the pile. So keep till you get to use. Then 1-step token cards would be awesome if they were used whenever you wanted. Change your mind? No problem. I can return that for you. Cool, so we got 3 of those. We have stay here, I'll grab it. Draw the top item card from any department you are missing. That's awesome. I'll help you find that. And, alright, so then we have, that's right over here. On a future turn, instead of spinning the move, play this card to go directly to any department you need an item from. The other one just lets you pick it up. This one moves you across the board. Follow me, does the same thing. Sign up for a red card. Take a red card. If you already have one, add $5 instead. So that's cool, because you could get one without having to be in that playground area. Ask for help. Use this card to block any negative action played against you. And we got 2 of those. You need a hand reaching that top shelf. Choose either to take a card or move 2 spaces. So they have these in each different pile, which is nice. Help a team member catch a runaway cart. Chat with your favorite team member always brightens your day. Take an energy boost token from another player. If no one has one, draw from the pile. Share a laugh over your unintentionally matching red shirts. Yeah, don't wear a red shirt to Target. People will just assume you work there. Exchanges and returns. Exchange. Swap one of your items with any other item from another player. So again, you're not gonna probably get to see what their numbers are. So you could have like you got like a $45 product and you know it's at the highest in that electronics. Swapping with anybody else probably is gonna get you a lower amount. Move to a spin again space in Bullseye's playground and spin again. And we have another exchange there. We have 2 refunds, so we're just gonna draw both of those. Would say swap one of your items for another player's less expensive items from the same department. So the other ones say any item from another player, and this one says swap one of your items with another player's less expensive item from the same department. Interesting. And then we have Express Checkout. Once you've collected all 8 items on your list, use this card to move to the checkout immediately. And there's only one of those. Cool. And then we have 4 reference cards, which just remind you what the board spaces do. So drawing from the different piles, or what all the different ones do, and we get 3 more of those. Cool, so that is the Game of Life target. Yeah, I think it's definitely be a very interesting, quick game. I mean, granted, it's Life. It's a classic board game. I don't think this is one you're gonna pull out, probably unless you have maybe littler kids, and you're not into like some of the heavier games, like other stuff I probably do on my channel. I mean, not all of them are really heavy games, but they take a little bit longer. But this is just a fun spin, move around the board. It could be just something to kind of relax and play while you're sitting around chit-chatting with people. Even at like a party, this is kind of things I think we break out like a family get-together, like a birthday party or, like whatever, we're hanging out like Easter after church or whatever, we're all hanging out. Pull us out, everyone can kind of sit there and play it. It's not heavily mentally focused. But it's definitely a fun little game to play. So that's the Game of Life. Zoom back out here. The Game of Life Target Edition with good old Bullseye there. Now, again, last thing I'd say about this being someone that has games that have tons of expansions, there could be some interesting expansions out of this, but I don't think they ever add expansions typically to these classic games. But you could add stuff where, people get different sheets they have to pick up. Like maybe someone really just wants a bunch of clothing and like home goods stuff. Like they need 3 clothing, 3 home goods. Like that'd be kind of an interesting mode to play, right? You have to add like extra tokens and stuff. But that could definitely be a cool expansion. Is like everyone starts right now at the exact same 8 departments. But what if you change it so people had to get the same department? Had to get the same department over and over, that'd be kind of an interesting thing, but then you'd almost have to change the rules so you have to go in a linear path around the board. So that would almost change it. I'm just going to move this quick. You'd almost then have to change it so you have to take a straight path maybe around the board. So like let's say if someone wanted to buy a bunch of board games, to get the board games, they would have to go into here, go around the playground, then they could come out here and go around, or they could come out there and go around, but you almost have to make like a way to go, like you'd have to go like in a clockwise path around the board. So like you could go around this way, come around here, you could come out there and go back around, this one go back around, this one go back around. But if you did both like that, and home goods, like maybe you have like 3 and 3 or something, or 2, 2 and 3, like maybe someone doesn't have pets, so they won't have to get pet stuff. Maybe someone doesn't care about music, so they don't have to get music. But they have to get double of a different department. Even if it's just like, you can get like two departments and stuff like that. It'd be kind of interesting. I think you could add some interesting different, like, when I'm trying to say the word is. Yeah, everyone doesn't have the same exact card at the beginning of the game. So they had different goals to try and get to. So I think it would also change. The only problem would be is if somebody has, like, they need 3 electronics versus someone that needs 3 household goods. The electronics are always going to cost more. So that might be the only difference, is then they might have to spend more. But then again, they could also, on their card, they could potentially start with a higher budget, right? So, if like, just look at one of these cards, if I knew I wanted to have game nights or like, night with the guys or whatever, I could have like, I need like 2 board games, 2 electronics, 2 music sets, 2, 4, 6, and then like 2 food. I don't need any home, pets, or health and beauty stuff, right? Or clothing. So I could eliminate 4 and have 2, 2, 2. But knowing that, because I don't have health and beauty or food or pets, and I have maybe some more expensive stuff, my budget can start higher. Like maybe I start up here at like 280 or 290 instead, because I know I'm buying more expensive stuff. And there'd have to be balance. But that could definitely be an interesting thing you could do. Alright, so that's what we have for this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like these type of little videos like this, with maybe some older classic or different version board games, let me know. I'll try and do some more of these. Like alternate ones. Like I don't know if I'm going to break out classic Monopoly. Like I said, I have Animal Crossing Monopoly. I'd love to do, maybe I could do an unboxing kind of showing off that. But maybe give me a reason to pick up some of these odder versions. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.